Hey folks, this is the legislative update for this week. We're going to start with not really a legislative update, but it's a disturbing trend, this Colorado anti-Semitic attack. I don't know what to say here except that this person does not belong in the country. He's here illegally, and there's a pattern here that is very, very, very disturbing. And quite honestly, the recent pattern starts in Pennsylvania with the attack on our own governor and our own governor's home. And so I think the larger and the broader discussion needs to include the fact that, by and large, the mainstream media and a lot of people seem to have no problem with this kind of stuff in our country. And it only makes it worse. It only condones it, and it is unacceptable. And I think that we need to condemn it in the strongest terms. Not just me, but every single person in the political arena need to condemn this stuff so that it ends immediately. We can't have this normalized in America like it is around the rest of the globe. So let me just start with that. We had a couple hearings this week on transportation infrastructure. We had one in the Aviation Subcommittee where I talked about the fuel situation. We have what are called sustainable aviation fuels. That's SAFs, that's what they call them. I call them stupid aviation fuels because we already have aviation fuel made in America, but now we're making these biofuels, which are 2 to 10 times more expensive, and they've actually caused mishaps and accidents. And we have, for political purposes, airports that refuse to use the fuel that has normally been used. And I don't know whether you know this or not. If you don't fly regularly as a private, aviation user, but we don't produce any of the what's called 100 low lead for avgas in the United States of America. These are the policies that we have in America have shut down the refiners. We literally have to import that. As the greatest country in the world with some of the largest fuel reserves in the world, we have to import that fuel. And the answer to it is to make fuel out of corn that's 2 to 10 times more expensive. It's just ridiculous. And so I spoke about that in the transportation and infrastructure hearing. And then we had a hearing in oversight on artificial intelligence and the use of artificial intelligence in the government. And I offered into the record a couple reports, and I talked about the fact that when we're testing artificial intelligence, we find that it tries to blackmail the people that have created it. It refuses to be shut down. It overwrites itself on other servers. And my contention is before we employ this on a widespread, large-scale basis across the government, to including, the Department of Defense, nuclear launch facilities, what have you, let's make sure that humans, that we're in control of it and it's not in control of us. These are things that are generally seen in science fiction, but they're happening regularly in the tests that we conduct. And so I want to make sure that that's part of the conversation. And before we roll this out across the whole spectrum of government, that we make sure that we're in control and that it works. The reconciliation bill, oftentimes referred to as the BBB, the OBBB, the one big beautiful bill, it remains in the Senate. As you know, we took it, and I took it as far as I could get it up into including the day of passage here. It is not a perfect bill. I've been critical of it because I think it could get much, much better. There are a lot of great things in the bill, but we always strive to do best. I know it's not perfect, so we moved it forward to the Senate. We're hoping to improve it, but I want to let you know right now, if they roll back the things that are in the bill, that the gains that we did have, if we continue to bankrupt our country, if we continue or further bankrupt our country, if we roll back the gains that we made on the green new scam stuff and getting rid of that, which are making your energy prices at home higher, if we make this bill worse in the Senate, I likely will be a no. So I'm just letting you know up front
For the folks back home, how long could this process take?
This process could probably take up to 2 months. We hope it doesn't, but it could probably take up to 2 months. So I'm hoping that they get done sooner. But all right, so the bill that I was most proud to vote on this week, the week that I want to talk to you about, is the American Entrepreneurs First Act, HR 2966. We have the Small Business Administration in the United States of America, who often provides loans at your expense or backed up, at least at your expense, by the Small Business Administration. And what this bill does is make sure that Americans are the ones that can apply for the loans, or, well, that Americans are the ones that are approved for the loans. So why is this important? Because we have people here illegally that are applying for these loans. Americans, have to compete with people that are here illegally. Your tax dollars as an American citizen are paying for this stuff, or the backstop for it. Yet people that can default on the loans currently are not American citizens, and oftentimes, unfortunately, are likely here illegally. That is unacceptable. It's unacceptable to me. So I was happy to vote for that bill, which tightened up those standards. And then finally, this is the anniversary of D-Day. Let's just take a moment to remember the enormous sacrifice that was made by the individuals that went on the beaches, and it's almost indescribable what they had to face and what they had to endure, yet they did it willingly for the idea of America, for the ideals of America. And so, thank you is never enough, but it's all we can do. So thank you for that. And let's just be mindful of that on this anniversary of D-Day. God bless you. We'll talk to you next week.